In 1968, the Beatles would leave Parlophone Records to start their own record company as a creative outlet called Apple Records. The first album released on the new label was George Harrison's Wonderwall Music, an experimental album. But after, the Beatles would release one of their best albums on the label, self-titled, but more commonly known as the White Album. And in this video, I'll be reviewing the White Album. After recording The Inner Light, Lady Madonna, and Across the Universe, the Beatles would take a retreat to Rishikesh, India, and take part in transcendental meditation with Maharishi Mahesh Yogi. I did that in one take. The Beatles would leave India after allegations of Maharishi attempting to gain sexual favors. The Beatles would then record the Ussr demos, 27 demos at George's estate in May of 1968, and would start recording the album the same month with Revolution, and would end the sessions with Take 3 of Julia in October. 5 days later, they would finish mixing the album. These sessions were chaotic at least, where things like them pulling their only 24-hour recording and producing session. But on November 22nd, 1968, the White Album would be released, marking the longest gap with 1.5 years after Sgt. Pepper's. The album kicks off with Back in the USSR. This is a rock and roll song with styles that are reminiscent of the Beach Boys and Chuck Berry. The song also starts and ends with airplane runway sounds. This is a pretty good opener to the album, and it turns into the amazing 1-2 punch edition of Dear Prudence. This and Back in the USSR have Paul playing on drums, but if you want to watch a video on that, check out You Can't Unhear This's video on Dear Prudence's drums. This song was written for Mia Farrow's sister, Prudence. She would stay in her room meditating, which would inspire John to write this track. This is a great rock song with George's little electric guitar licks here and there inspired by Indian music. The next song is Glass Onion. John Lennon wrote the song to confuse people who read too much into the lyrics of Beatles songs, which he also did with I Am the Walrus. This is a good psychedelic rock song and carries on the pacing of the first two songs. The next song after is Obla Di Obla Da. This is not as good of a song as the first three, but it's still a pretty good pop and ska song. This song was also used to try to lure Prudence out of her room in Rishikesh. Then we get the Beatles' grand masterpiece, complete with a sprawling orchestra, tens of the world's finest musicians money could buy in 1968. This is the Beatles' single-handedly greatest song. It's a fine listen, I guess. After that, we get the continuing story of Bungalow Bill. John Lennon told his version of what happened to inspire this song to Playboy, stating, Bungalow Bill was written about a guy in Maharishi's meditation camp who took a short break to go shoot a few poor tigers and then came back to commune with God. After Bungalow Bill is another great song, While My Guitar Gently Weeps. If you want an in-depth video on this song, you can check out another video by You Can't Unhear This. This is a pretty good blues hard rock song with Eric Clapton's guitar solo really adding to the song. Overall, another best off the album. And to close off side one, Happiness is a Warm Gun, a great closer to side one, and is one of the better rock songs off the album. This first part is in a 6/4 time signature, which then goes into a 4/4, and yes, I barely know what a 6/4 is. Overall, a great song. Side 2 opens up with Martha My Dear, a dance hall and pop rock song about Paul McCartney's dog at the time, Martha. This is another nice little song and one I don't tend to skip. I'm So Tired was written by John Lennon when he couldn't get any sleep, and this is another good song. Fun fact, at the end of the song, it's believed John says Paul's dead man miss him, which is utter bogus because he's actually muttering, Monsieur, how about another one? After I'm So Tired is Blackbird. Paul said he wanted this to sound like it's played outside, so it is. Also, the tapping isn't a foot, it's a metronome. This is a nice calm song, one of the better folk songs off the album. After Blackbird is Piggies, a George Harrison song as a social commentary. I find this one kind of comical with the pig sounds playing throughout the song on top of the harpsichord. The next song is Rocky Raccoon, a country song about a love triangle where his girlfriend walks out on him with her new man, Dan, punches him in the eye. This is one of my least favorite songs off the record and one I tend to skip. The next song is Don't Pass Me By. This is the first Ringo song written by him in their catalog, and it's a decent country rock song at best. The next song is Why Don't We Do It in the Road, a song Paul McCartney wrote after seeing monkeys doing it in the road. Another short one and one I usually skip. The next song is I Will. Paul McCartney doesn't play this bass on the song, instead using his voice. This is a nice melody and a pretty good song. And then side 2 and the first album closer is Julia. This is a song written about John's mother who was hit by a car by an off-duty constable when John was 17. This is a nice closer to the album and a beautiful song. Album 2 and the side 3 kicks off with Birthday, a rock and roll style song recorded after watching The Girl Can't Help It at Paul McCartney's house. This is a song I find stuck in my head and it's a nice listen. The next song is Your Blues, a blues hard rock song I feel like goes on for way too long. This is a nice song, but one I usually skip. The next song is Mother Nature's Son, a folk song recorded at the height of the tensions in between the four while recording the album. This is a nice song and a nice change of pace after the depressing Your Blues. The next song is Everybody's Got Something to Hide Except for Me and My Monkey. This is one of the best hard rock songs on the album for me. John Lennon said in his final interview, "It means really that one cannot be absolutely oneself in public." The next song is Sexy Sadie. This song was written in response to Maharishi's allegations of sexual advance on Mia Farrow. This is a fine song, but one I usually skip on a usual basis. The next song is Helter Skelter, a song about a playground slide of the same name. The song was written to one-up The Who and is said to be the first heavy metal song. And no, I'm not going to talk about Charles Manson. The next song is Long, Long, Long. This is a psychedelic folk song and is one of the best folk songs on this record. The ending is pretty epic too. The next song is Revolution 1, the slower version of Revolution. As you might guess, the song is kind of boring and one I skip most of the time. The next song is Honey Pie, a ragtime dancehall song about an actress who becomes popular in the US and her lover wants her back in England. The next song is Safoy Truffle, about Eric Clapton's Sweet Tooth. I'm not joking. It's a fine rock song and I really like the keyboard. The next song is Crybaby Cry. I don't really like this song because I find it a drag and it's one of my least favorites off the album, but I do listen to it once in a while. The second to last song on the album is Revolution 9. All it is a guy saying number 9 and tape loops. And this goes on for almost 9 minutes and I do not like this song. The final song off the album is Good Night, a Disney style song closing out the entire album. This song would have been okay, but no offense, Ringo, this shouldn't have had Ringo's vocals. It's a good song though, with the orchestra really bringing it in. Overall, this is one of the best Beatles albums in their discography, up there with Abbey Road, Sgt. Pepper's, and Revolver. Overall, I give this album a score of 8.5. It's a good album with amazing songs, but some of the songs are less than subpar. But if you have a different opinion, let me know in the comments below, and if you think I left something out, let me know in the comments as well. And with that out of the way, my name is Aiden, and I'll see you later.